This is our 2010 Chevy Malibu. This is one of the 2 cars my dad has ever bought brand new in his life. And the other one was a 2000 Ford Contour. Not to be mistaken with the 2000 Ford Contour with the 4-cylinder. The one he bought was the V6 model. So it was the
race car.
It was race car. So it was the sport model of the SE Sport. So it had a spoiler and the big V6. So we haven't had any timing issues or anything on this thing because, you know, changed the oil very diligently. It has 246,000 miles.
Something like that.
Just about there. You know, never know when you need to go to Itasca. So currently, we're getting this back on the road. It's been sitting for about a year or two. I've been driving it because Dad's got a new daily. And so, as you can see, well, all the headlights and stuff have weird gaps up here because once upon a time this was hit in the front, and the radiator and basically all this stuff was replaced. We actually have that radiator hanging up in one of our trailers. So, what we need to do to this is we're doing the gas tank. We're dropping the gas tank to do the fuel pump because the gas gauge isn't working, and at 246,000 miles, it's going to need a fuel pump. So, might as well do that. We're also going to do some rear brakes because it's got some interesting wear patterns right now. So we'll put some pads in it, and we can resurface the rotors. Got that jacked up. We also are doing the top strut mounts in the front because that, when you turn, you get a bung, bung, bung as you turn, so like bung, bung, bung. So there's like a, it's kind of hard to show you, to try to like imitate it, but we can just show you later because because we're actually dropping the tank. Because what we have been doing is on other vehicles, we have just been cutting the floor like we did on one of our field truck, on one of our Suburbans that's a daily,
But on 2 other Suburbans we didn't do that. So
and on this thing we're not going to because it's not that rusty, as you can see. She's got a little bit of bubblage and stuff in some regions, but any of the important stuff, like the main structure of the unit body, isn't rusty or anything. It's a little bit rustier on the other side, like right here. There's a little bit, and you got some on the fender lip, but it's pretty good. So it was actually my birthday yesterday, and today is the 4th of July. So yeah. So we're gonna do that. We already released the fuel pressure in this quick disconnect that's right on the throttle body. So yeah. So I'll say this will just be a video on doing those things. So of course, first thing you do is you jack it up. You want to jack it up pretty high, and put the jack stand under something structural, subframe or something. So, and then you want to pop the hood, take off all these random covers. That's just the battery cover. We never put that on. Hardly on here. So this fuel line comes in right here. The throttle body. You take that off to release the pressure, and then we have our gas can, and we have our fuel pump ready to extract the fuel when we get the filler neck and stuff off. The filler neck goes from here. This is the
4 feet it seems like.
It goes right here. And if you just like down through here, and it goes like over and down and in. So it's just like a giant zigzag thingy. So yeah. Got weird. Yeah, so then you can take off the rear wheels and stuff. You want to make sure you put the jack stands in an area so you're got plenty of room by the fuel tank. And then you The thing about this is that all the disconnects and stuff aren't on like the top of the tank, they're on the side of the tank. It's pretty easy to get out. And none of our straps are rusty or anything, so we just jacked it up yesterday and got ready to do it this morning. And all we did is we just took a ratchet and just the bolts started coming loose right away. And also, 8-pound fiberglass handled sledge that I asked for my birthday, because you never know. You never know. And of course, we got the Going Gets Tough stacks. And the DOHC. Not a sponsor. I wish. But, yeah, actually got this thing for Dad for his birthday. Got these picks, though. Got this little adorable little box cutter. Safety first. Got this little container that's configurable, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll work. I'll have Dad show you where the quick disconnects and stuff are. So we'll show you that.
So, 2010 Malibu, if we can get some focus. So first things first, like I said, on the fuel tank, we have the wiring is on the side instead of way up underneath on the tank, which would be hard to get. So one wire disconnect, and GM has their little connectors that you gotta ease out, and then you can just push down on the button right there, and that just pulls out. You can see where it was, right behind there. Then these, in theory, are actual true quick disconnects. You just squeeze and pull. So we'll try that and we'll see what happens.
So we're right over here, right in front of the rear wheel. There's the front of the car over there. So right here, of course, is the gas tank, and Dad showed you those true disconnect lines. So we're gonna be getting those off right there. So all you do is just grab the sides and just squish. Okay.
Oh, there's one.
The one came off easy.
Oh, one thing I want to point out, Chevy finally put like a coating on brake lines so they don't rust, because we've replaced lots of brake lines in our rusty Chevys. So, good job.
Good job.
Okay, that one will probably spray to get a little lube on so we don't mess with anything.
You need a sweatband yet?
Not yet. We're close though. Okay, so let's grab some lube and throw on there.
We're gonna go quickly find some lubricant. So as you can see, we just quickly grabbed our high performance lubricant from the Walmart. The thing is, you see how this is like the main jacking spot, because you see right here it transfers to double wall. As you can see, right up over there, there's all those little dents and stuff. That's from jacking it 1,000 times. This thing has been jacked up quite a bit. Oh, and you can see we also need that flexi joint. It's not we thought it was a flexi joint that busted out on the exhaust, because now it sounds like a little rowdy import with like a turbo on it. She's got the pops and bangs. But we need to actually replace the bolts between that cat and that flexi joint. There's actually 2 flexi joints on this. There's a flexi joint right up there too. So we gotta replace those pressing bolts on there, so probably just bring that to exhaust shop. And most of the time they don't replace the bolts on older Chevys or on Chevys anymore. They just like weld them together. 'Cause usually the bolts just break, but they lasted quite a long time. That has been
So we're going to wiggle this around a little bit and let it lube, and then we'll jump back with you in a sec.
We can just speed this one part up of you.
I might need something else. Something to be able to push against that. Yeah, that's. I got a good angle on it. Here, just pause it. Quick update from under the car. Yeah, smells good. So these quick connects, you just squeeze, and when they work good. I don't know, one's a feed, one's a return. I don't remember which is which. This one was pretty gummy on the inside. Had to go on there with a little pick and pry one side over. See, one side moves kind of decent. Top side did, bottom side didn't. And then she came, had the gasoline fountain coming down, took care of that. So now, technically, return, feed, and the wiring have been disconnected from the tank. All that we have is the filler line, and then there's typically like a ground or something on that side too. So we'll start getting the tank dropped down, and we'll see what it looks like up there.